Professor Halsey here with the last part, the breadboard part of our labs for week 5. And I've made some modifications to the circuit construction. If I use the plus 18 as my fixed supply, then I don't have a variable supply to use for the adjustable amount that has to go into the input. So what I did was I used the fixed 12 plus and minus to power the Opamp. So its maximum is going to be about 11 volts out. And then I'm using my variable 18 as the input that needs to be varied going into the 10K resistor. Alright, so let me see if I can get some close-ups of this and give you an idea what I did. Here's my feedback resistor coming out of pin 6. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you haven't done chips in a while. And I don't know if you can see or not. I was trying to get as close as I could to see the chip number, but you can't. And then in this corner there's a little notch. And let's see, because I have a really good camera, so it should be able to do this for us. There it goes. Alright, so you can see the HA17741. Hey, this may be how I read these in the future because I have trouble reading them. And you can see the notch in the if I move, sorry, it's really small, so it's really sensitive to movement. Here's my chip. There's the notch in the corner that I'm talking about. That indicates that this is pin 1. Alright, so let me zoom back out just a little bit, and you can see how I've gone from the output on pin 6 and wrap that around, back around to pin 2, and then also off of pin 2 I have this 10K where I'm running my varied input signal that we're going to amplify. Pin 3 to ground. Pin 4 is to my negative supply, which is on this positive strip down at the bottom. Pin 7 goes to my positive supply, which is up here on the top. Now again, I'm using that 12 volts. The plus 12 is coming in here. I've connected my 2 grounds, so ground is the same on the bottom and the top. And then my negative supply is coming in down here on the bottom red strip. So I just have to know that that's my negative supply and that's my positive supply. I connect the 2 grounds together. I also bring in the ground down here from my variable supply to connect all of them together. When I get ready to run the AC signal, I'll have to do that as well from the function generator and make sure and pull the ground over to here from the generator, but we'll get to that part in a minute. Okay, so right now I'm set up to measure what I've got going into the 10K resistor, and it's real hard to fine tune it, but I've got it pretty much as close to 1 volt as I can get it. Don't forget to hit your select button to get to DC. Okay, now that we have tuned the input, I'm going to come to pin 6 on the output and measure what's coming out. We've set up a gain of 27/10, which is 2.7, so we're right at that. That is awesome. Okay, that's about as close to 3 volts as I can get going in. Okay, so for this output, I'm going to expect right at 8.1, and my input was a little low, and I'm measuring 7.8 at the output. Now, since my cap's going to be 11, instead of jumping to 5, I'm going to do 4 next. Okay, well, 4 volts going in, I should have 10.8 coming out, and you can see here I'm at my cap at 10.15. So I probably should have done like 1, 2, 3, and then we'd see at 4, it starts to cap off. And if I go higher to 5, and it still caps out at the 10.16, and there is a negative sign in front of there. Okay. The configuration's similar for the inverting input, so try that one, or the non-inverting input, my apologies. The only difference is the equation RF over RM plus 1. So instead of a gain of 2.7 that we got in the inverting, the non-inverting amplifier will have a gain of 3.7. Okay, so this is the last part, and you can see here I'm measuring my ground and generator out. And this was really hard to do, but I had to fine tune it to, and it's already strayed. Well, yeah, it's right at 148 millivolts peak to peak. That's 0.1 volt RMS. Oh, no, actually I need to be at twice that, because that would be my peak voltage. So I need 282 actually. Okay, that's fine. 2. Okay, close to 2. Look. Alright, and then that actually changed my frequency adjustment a little bit, so I'm going to check my offset here. It should be half above and half below. So you try to center it, and then maybe slow down my frequency just a hair. I was a bit over 1K. Just showing you this to see it's not easy to do. I've been doing this one for a while, and it's still hard to use because you just really have to be patient. You make one twitch and you've overdone it. Okay, so I changed my measurement here to RMS. It's a little bit slower, but I can see my amplification a lot better. I'm running in 100 millivolts RMS, and I'm getting out 279 millivolts, which is my gain of 2.7, so I'm right on.